Nice to meet you.
I'm Sisaundra.
Nice
it's a
to
pleasure
meet
to
you.
meet you
My
as well.
pleasure's mine.
Indeed, indeed.
So we're just gonna go over the walkout so that you know exactly what to do.
Okay. Okay.
So if you want to play this dance, this is to you. So I'm just gonna introduce you. And as soon as you hear your name, but you're gonna have somebody back here, me or somebody else, is gonna cue you when it's time. Okay?
And when I go out, where do I go?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
So as soon as she says your name, you're gonna go. Okay, so you're gonna just follow me. What we're gonna do is walk around the lavender couch.
Okay.
We're gonna greet because you're standing there, but I'm gonna fill in also, just so that you switch. We're gonna hug and then we're gonna have a seat on the couch.
Okay.
And then they're gonna get you.
All
Any
right.
questions?
Nope.
All right, you're welcome to walk out. Super.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to the commercial break, and then you two are going to get up, and then you're going to have a seat in the chair. That's like directly right there.
Okay.
But that will be
So I'm assuming she's there and I'm here?
she'll be there, and you'll
Okay. Behind Joy. That's me.
yeah. So you'll be right there. So but that's for the commercial break.
Okay.
Yeah. And your vocal you just played right.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No.
No? I'm just gonna check your mic, but what I'm gonna do is you're just gonna come at me. I'm just gonna like do it like a different way.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like have them like go under your armpit, and then you're just gonna okay, I'm fixing it. I'm gonna have the
I love it. I love it. Where are you ladies visiting us from? From Texas. Now, whose birthday is it? Well, happy birthday to you. I love it. Congratulations. 25. Yes. Was she really? Oh, no. Take 10 off. I have an aunt.
You know I love you.
I love you too.
Love you.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart. Oh, we're so glad y'all found us too. Thank you so much.
We are a lively audience.
You aren't a.
We're a lively audience.
Oh, I love it. Let's go. Let's start off on. Come on. Yes. That's how you do a Friday. I love it. Yes. I love it. Mm-hmm. Kiana, can we have some? What time is it? I guess it's too late to ask for music. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Sisaundra Show, y'all. We are so excited. It is Friday and we welcome you here. So it's officially the day where we say, have a fantastic weekend. We need y'all to go ahead and get all comfy, grab your bubbly beverage, and let's get this show started. Let's get it started. Woo! Y'all, the streets are talking, and we the people want to know what's really going on. So let's get into it. Woo! This first story, y'all, Governor Gavin Newsom said run me my money. And he meant it. The California governor is suing Fox News for a jaw-dropping $787 million. Did y'all hear that? There's absolutely crickets in the room for $787 million. He's accusing them of knowingly spreading lies that smeared his name. And y'all want to know what the smoke is? A chopped up clip of Newsom on the phone with President Trump, edited to make it look like he lied about when he called in the National Guard. And y'all, that $787 million figure, it's not random. That's the exact same amount Fox paid in the Dominion defamation case. Y'all remember that case? When they said that the voting machines were like faulty? So Governor Newsom's making it clear, if you play dirty with the truth, you will pay for it. He's demanding a full retraction and an apology, but says he'll drop the suit if they come clean. Now, y'all, Fox, of course, is brushing it off, calling it a stunt. But baby, this ain't just PR. This is about power, truth, and the price of playing games with the facts. Because when media giants start rewriting reality for clicks and clout, it doesn't just hurt reputations, it damages democracy. Y'all, we the people, we're watching. And unlike that edited clip, we want the whole truth. If you love the truth, somebody clap your hands. We love the truth. Woo! All right, so let's see how that ends up. Now let's talk about our guest today. Today we're joined by an incredible attorney and nonprofit leader who's dedicated her life to fighting for justice, navigating emotionally challenging cases, and making a real difference in her community. Y'all, please welcome to the Lavender Couch, Miss Catherine Delcin. Woo! Yay! Come on, attorney Catherine Delcin. Beautiful. Hello, gorgeous. Mwah. How are you? You look fabulous.
You look great.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Wow. Hey, everybody.
Yes, we are so delighted to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed, indeed. And you look fabulous. I love this fit. Isn't this a fabulous fit, y'all? We brought the blues in today.
Yes.
I love it. Brilliant and beautiful. So can you tell us what originally made you want to become an attorney?
Well, I can tell you growing up in Haiti and coming here to America and being fascinated by the systems that we have here, the infrastructure for justice, the ability to follow through on entrepreneurial activities and pursue all of that. I think those things are the main reasons why I decided to become an attorney.
Wow, those are a lot of great reasons to become an attorney. So could you tell us, in law, you're often fighting for people who face their darkest moments. How do you emotionally protect yourself when you're exposed to so much pain and suffering in your clients' lives?
Well, generally, I think the common thing that they say is that you put your mask on first.
Yes.
I think part of it is putting that, although you want to put on your armor, okay, and I don't want to get biblical here, but
It's okay. We're a biblical place.
but essentially put on your armor and protect yourself, and knowing that you're an extension of the help that they need, and you're no good to them if you're falling apart.
It's so true.
You're no good to them if you're not providing the guidance, whether it's legal or emotional support that they actually need.
That is so true. But it's always a question I've wanted to ask attorneys, like when you're dealing with cases that are heavy on you emotionally, spiritually, who do you go to? Because there's this client attorney privilege that you cannot share information. So what do you go? You go to the rock?
I go to the rock. You said it.
Go to the rock of our salvation.
Yes.
I feel you on that.
Yes, and
Go ahead.
And honestly, just having that prayer closet, right, and being able to release and unload, and being able to say, you know, this is a lot. This burden is not mine, and I don't have to carry it.
Oh, that's so true. It reminds me of that song. This battle is not yours. It belongs
Lord's.
to the Lord.
Yes.
Amen. So you've worked with many clients who've experienced unimaginable trauma. How do you maintain empathy without becoming emotionally overwhelmed or losing sight of the legal strategy?
So I think a lot of it is stepping into it with objectivity, but still having empathy for what's going on.
Yes.
So I can step in and say, from a legal standpoint, these are the things that need to be done, but also refer them out for services, which is always helpful to do.
Yes.
And also being that shoulder, aside from being the legal head, right? Being that shoulder, but having the boundary, not so much that it conflicts with my responsibilities, but also being that shoulder for that person to lean on.
Yes. Oh my goodness. We've been talking a lot lately on the show about nonprofits, so I'm really ecstatic that you're here today. If you could talk to us about nonprofits, moving out of the area of what you do for law and how you approach your clients in their challenging situations, could you tell us, when starting a nonprofit, what's the hardest part that people don't warn you about?
I think it's the corporate governance aspect, right? We all have this great idea, right? And we're gonna change the world. We're gonna do it tomorrow, right? And then that machine of a nonprofit, it needs other things to feed it, right? It needs corporate governance. It needs the, what is it called again? It needs the form 901C to be filed.
Yes.
It needs so many different things that you have to maintain it.
The
with-
501?
Yes, 501c3 exemption, yes. So there's so many aspects of this that you have to do, and people, they lose their status, unfortunately. And you start on a high, right? Oh, I'm going to save the
Yes, I
world.
got it, and then
you get this letter in the mail that says your status has been revoked because you didn't file your taxes, you didn't do this, you didn't do
that's
that.
scary.
So unfortunately, that's the path that people go to, and that's why we try to help people not to get to that point.
That's a good place to be, because I've seen so many people with nonprofits, and a few even in very high-ranking places, that did not govern them properly, and then you end up some in jail,
Yeah.
some
Mismanaging funds, right?
mismanaging money. What is the trick, or if not a trick, what is the secret to making sure that you stay within these guidelines and you're not using it as a slush fund? Does that come down to the board of directors that you choose, making sure everyone is holding each other's feet to the fire? How do you do that?
So the first thing is your bylaws, your corporate governance documents, and that's what the board of directors will use to govern the actual organization. So your bylaws is what says if a director is supposed to be compensated, it's what pretty much governs everything. Should money go here? Should money go there? What should happen at the end of the year if we have excess funds? Everything is what the bylaws should have.
And you need to be listening to the bylaws and following the bylaws. If not, you can end up in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Other than that, it's such a great way to be able to help in the community, to help change lives. Nonprofits are so powerful. So as a woman of color in law and nonprofits, how do you use your platform and experiences to challenge the systemic barriers that you face, while also ensuring that others have a seat at the table too?
I think part of it is access and affordability. Okay, so it used to be that only people that had a lot of money would start a nonprofit, but that's not the truth anymore.
True.
Now
true.
you can start a nonprofit, and you don't necessarily have to have a lot of funding to do so. You can fundraise, you can bootstrap, you can do it so many different ways, and also there's attorneys like myself who will help you do it, at a fraction of the cost. So I provide that service discounted, because I know it's a nonprofit and I know that it's a
Right.
philanthropic endeavor.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Did y'all hear that? She's helping everyone who can or who wants to start your nonprofit at a discounted price, because it can be quite pricey to start your nonprofit.
Exactly, yes.
So what did the process of getting your 501c3 status teach you about patience and navigating bureaucracy?
Oh my God.
Right?
I'll tell you, it takes such a long time, but in the end, when you get the end result, it's so worthwhile, right? So it's almost like if you expect something good, you got to take the time. You got to
Yes.
cook it. It's not going to be microwavable, right?
So true.
So I think that's part of it.
I say anything worth having is worth waiting for.
Exactly.
Right? I love that. I love that. So we're going to go to break and we're going to be right back. But before we go, I want to talk to the younger you. In 10 seconds, can you tell us what you would say to the younger you?
Oh, I would say something simple. Take it easy, relax, breathe. I think I've always been this machine of trying to do.
Yes.
And I think now in my 40s, I'm coming to, it's okay.
It's
relax.
okay, relax. I love that. With that being said, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It gets better. Yes. Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the Sisaundra Show. Listen, welcome to 5 o'clock somewhere. Yes, I love it. Listen, y'all, welcome to 5 o'clock somewhere. That time in the show where we pour our little something bubbly, kick back with our guests, and dive headfirst into the headlines everybody's whispering about but afraid to unpack. No fluff, no filter, just real talk over real drinks. Today, we're peeling back the legal layers of one of the most explosive celebrity cases in recent history. So grab your glass because cheers.
Cheers.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yes! Now, before we went to break, I told you that we were here with Catherine Delcin. She is an attorney, a nonprofit advocate, as well as an author. So thank you for joining us. We're going to go into this next part of our story. There's a trial going on that everybody is glued to the TV, watching, curious to see how it's going to turn out. Could you tell us, what do the charges against Diddy, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, mean under federal law? And what must the prosecution prove for a conviction?
You know, it's not normal that a child is.
I don't know where that came from. Y'all excuse that, but please, attorney, if you would assist us.
Sure. So here's the thing. The prosecution has to prove every element of their case. Now, I'm not a criminal law attorney. I'm more on the civil side.
Okay.
However, so...
But you know a little bit about something.
I know a little bit about something, especially now that we're having drinks. I'm knowing more and more.
Exactly.
And essentially, they have to prove every element of each of the causes of actions, right? what we've seen is that they've had a lot of testimony. And I think a lot of the testimony has not necessarily added up to what they need to prove, okay? And when that happens, that's what you see where they drop some of the charges that they had.
Like they
right?
just did.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because when they realize, they probably go somewhere and somebody said, guess what? I don't think we met A, B, C, D, and that's how it works.
Wow.
And if you don't meet each element, then it's not going to go through. And the jury has no choice but to dismiss.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility of this case being dismissed?
I don't know. I think it's...
But based on what they're prosecuting him for and what they've had to drop recently, quite possibly.
I don't know if it'll be fully dismissed. Maybe he'll get time served. But I think there'll be something that's going to stick somehow.
That's an interesting insight. So tell us, how does the superseding indictment and the additional counts affect the defense strategy and potential sentencing?
I'm not sure. That's a very good question. I'm not sure how that would play out, honestly, because I think ultimately the defense has held it close to the vest, right? You don't see them putting 10,000 witnesses on, right?
Right.
And in a way, they're sitting back and watching and saying, well, you're saying this occurred, then you need to prove it.
Correct. Ooh. So by none of or very few people getting on the stand from Diddy's side, it makes it better for him.
Correct.
They are very smart. Well, they say he's got great attorneys. So what legal challenges are posed by the term freak-offs, and how does the law address private events involving illicit activities and potential coercion? It was private.
Potential, right?
Yes. I like that. Yes.
So,
Alleged.
and I think that's where we as a society is passing judgment to some extent about certain activities that has happened between consensual adults. And this is not to say that there are things, and obviously I don't know all the details of the case,
Right.
but by the same token, a lot of times when there are consenting adults choosing to engage in certain activities, yes, there are rules and regulations. We still have to, even if we dislike what's happening, doesn't make it illegal, right?
Correct.
So that's the test there, that we know whether we insert our moral standard or is it the legal standard that's being violated.
Is this pushing the envelope for the law? Is this like pushing it all the way to the edge, testing it?
I think in some way it is. I think in some way, and the outcome of this case is going to weigh a lot.
It will set a precedent
Exactly.
for the future. Wow. So how does the legal system evaluate consent in cases involving potential manipulation and power imbalances, especially when drugs or alcohol are involved?
So consent is voluntary, right? It's voluntary and it's knowingly. Consenting, right? If it's, are you really fully aware if there's alcohol, if there's drug, are you really fully aware of the circumstances and what you're consenting to?
And based on what we're hearing, it looks like it was something where everybody knew what was happening. They were being flown in, flown out. They kind of knew what they were coming to do. So it seems like that would be consensual.
Yeah, to some degree, but like you mentioned earlier, when there's certain level of power involved with different individuals, the question is, if you were to walk up to a store and they say sign here or you don't get this, are you really consenting, right?
Ooh, that's true. It's almost like you're kind of being pushed.
Yeah.
Under duress, so to speak, right? Ooh, so one more question. What challenges are there in admitting surveillance footage as evidence, and how could it impact the jury's perception of the defendant?
So surveillance footage, they have to overcome hearsay rules, right? And generally, for evidence, Rule 404, I believe, generally you have to prove that this is not being used for the truth of the matter asserted, and that it's been proved something else, another element, which is causation, motives, or any of those type of behaviors.
Do you think they've proven or not proven these things at this point? I think they had closing argument today, or do you need to catch up when you get home?
I might need to catch up, honestly.
I mean, but what you know is so helpful. It's so insightful. How long have you been practicing law?
I've been practicing since 2011.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where did you graduate from?
Florida State University.
That's a great university. My son went there too.
Yes,
Great,
I
great
did my
college.
undergrad there and then did my law school in California.
Really? Why did you decide to go from FSU to California?
You know, honestly,
The choice of school?
choice of schools, but also I've always wanted to be in California.
Really?
I'm not sure why. It's one of those
something about
things.
the West Coast, right?
And I went out there and everything worked out, and I'm back now. So
You're back on the East Coast now?
yeah, I share both, but for the most part, I'm here.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Did you always want to be a lawyer when you were growing up?
Always, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
At what age did you decide, okay, this is what I love?
I started when I was younger in Haiti. There was this Haitian lawyer, and she was always so poised and so put together. And even though I didn't really understand the law per se, but I think I saw her behavior and I thought, wow, I like this. And later on, when I found out more about the law, then it was like, oh, this is definitely something I want to do.
Well, I'm telling you, she was a great example because you are so poised and so well put together.
Oh, thank
so
you.
Brilliant, so beautiful.
Thank
I'd
you.
love for you to share with us a case that you had that was the most memorable to you.
Sure. A case that was most memorable to me. That's a good one.
And you practice civil
I
law,
do. I
correct?
do civil and intellectual property law. I think one of the most recent ones that we had was a case against Ford Motors, and essentially this gentleman who runs a small business purchased a car to run the business, a truck, and he was doing all types of transactions with that truck, and it had a trailer and all of that, and though it became a warranty issue, and unfortunately Ford decided not to honor the warranty. And he came to us, and it was affecting the bottom line. He wasn't sure if he could continue on and so forth. And thankfully, we were able to resolve it successfully, and
love
Ford
it.
was able to settle the case out.
It always feels good to win, right?
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness. That's so wonderful to hear. Now, do you practice in a family law or you work with a firm?
I work with a firm. I have my
Excellent.
own firm, and generally it's about 4 to 5 attorneys total.
Really? So tell us how we can be in touch. Our viewers can be in touch with you and your firm if we have any legal challenges, if we have IPR, intellectual property questions, anything like that. How can we have your services?
Sure. Actually, you guys can reach out to me via Google. You can reach out to me via CatherineDelcin.com or the name of the firm, which is DelcinConsultingGroup.com.
DelcinConsultingGroup.com.
Yeah, that's the web address, but the name
Correct.
is Delcin Consulting.
I love
yes.
it. No, we're sharing that so our viewers can make sure you're in touch. Have someone that you can trust. Whenever there's a legal challenge, it's always good to have someone on speed dial so that you can have it taken care of. Now, these days, there's such a demand for nonprofit and for you advocating and helping us understand the dynamics of a 501(c), correct?
501(c)(3).
Thank you so much.
It's all right.
I might have a little dyslexia.
No, you're fine.
501(c)(3), the steps to all of that. Please also call Miss Delcin. She can help you with that as well. And we thank you kindly for being with us today. It's been so informative, not just from nonprofit to civil law, but also helping us understand this trial that's going on with Puff Daddy. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you for
We wish you a
having me.
fabulous weekend. To all of our viewers, thank y'all so much for joining us. It's been a fantastic week of discovery. We hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and we will be right back here on Monday at 7 p.m. Do not miss us because we have another fabulous guest that will be here. Have a fantastic weekend. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.